Taylorville. Our office hours are 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. weekdays. Winners outside of Christian County will have their prize mailed. Any cash prize is mailed within 30 days of winning. Only if cash winners call our business line within 2 weeks of their name being drawn to provide their mailing address. Employees and their families of regional radio are not eligible to participate or win any contest.
WTIM. You're listening to the WTIM Morning Show on your information station. The show is sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Reed Kamai. Our next guest this morning is Denise Evans, who is a coordinator for Safe Passage, which is working with the Taylorville Police Department. Denise, thanks for coming on this morning.
Hi, thank you.
Yes, it is. It's really good to have you in. And we've heard plenty on the WTIM Morning Show, certainly about Safe Passage. I know it's your first time on for some time, it sounds like. Just give a little overview for our listeners about what Safe Passage is and what you folks do.
Okay. Safe Passage is located in the Taylorville Police Department. And anyone who is having any problems with addiction, whether it be alcohol, drugs, whatever, you're welcome to come in. Ask for Safe Passage at the dispatch, and they will direct you to our office, and we will sit down one-on-one, speak with you, answer any questions you have, and also get you some help. We will get you into a rehab facility. We use rehabs all over Illinois, and then we have counseling that we can set you up with. We can help you after the math, after you have been released from the rehab program. We can help you get back into society, jobs, houses, whatever you might need.
Yeah, so it seems like you're really there throughout, like a good part
the whole
of the process. Yeah, the whole process,
yes.
Right from the very start of it, and then through the rehab, and then
right.
Kind of figuring out what to do next.
Right.
So you mentioned like different rehab locations. So it sounds like you have some relationships with a lot of those facilities.
We do.
Yeah,
we do all over Illinois.
Okay,
we can call any of them, and get you in if they serve what you need, and everything.
Yeah. So, if it all kind of lines up.
Right.
So I know Police Chief Dwayne Wheeler, he's been a big part of this.
Yes.
And I'm sure you'll talk more about that in a little bit. He's come on, he's talked about, it sounds like there was like a graduation ceremony.
Yes.
That sort of happens at the end. So talk about kind of what that's like and what it takes to get there.
Well, really that is, if they're assigned to go to drug court.
Okay.
And after that has to do with if they're on probation or anything like that, they go through what is called drug court. And after they go through that process, then there's a graduation, a springtime and winter one in the Taylorville Davis Memorial Church.
Okay.
And it's a big affair also. Anyone is welcome to go to that. There's a free dinner, and then everyone goes into the
the main space.
The main space. Okay. And then they have, they'll have all kinds of speakers and different things in there.
Yeah.
And it's really nice.
I'm Jewish and not Christian, so I didn't know what it was called.
I couldn't think it was called.
Are you one of the speakers?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. But no,
the speakers would be the people that are graduating.
Oh, people that are graduating.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll tell their testimonies, anything like that. And sometimes they have other speakers there also.
Okay. Talk about what that's like from your role with Safe Passage to hear those testimonies, hear those stories.
Oh gosh, it gives you chills because we at Safe Passage are the first ones to see them when they're coming in asking for help. And then to see them after they have went through rehab, counseling, their drug court, and process and everything like that. They're completely different people, and you don't even recognize them.
That sounds like big impact and major progress that you folks get to see, which I think is really cool. So so that's the graduation. Talk about your role kind of with Safe Passage, what you do as coordinator.
Okay. Well, like I said, someone will come in, or someone may be going to court, and the judge will tell them that they have to go to Safe Passage to get help. So when they come in, they'll come in my office and we'll talk on, what's going on and everything, and they have to be honest. That's the first thing I tell them.
Yep.
I want you to tell me the truth. I'm not here to, judge you or anything. There's no judging in this program. You can tell me anything. And so then they get started. They might leave out a little bit, but then eventually after we've talked for a while and everything, they'll say, well, I did this or that, whatever. So they really open up and tell me their story. Then from listening to their story about what happened, why they started drugs, why they started drinking, there's always a trigger. There's always something that makes you do that. You just don't grow up and say, I want to be a drug addict.
That's right.
And so from that, I can tell, okay, is there a lot of mental illness here from, their tragedy or something that they've had or trauma? Or is it just, a lot of drugs and stuff? So anyway, some people might need dual diagnosis.
Yeah.
And so I know which rehabs have that and have more counseling for that. So I will call a rehab and tell them, they all usually know by first name.
Yeah.
And say, this is Denise at Taylorville Safe Passage. I have a female here who I'd like to get into rehab. They also need detox, meaning that they have just used, in a short time before. So that person on the other line will see if they have a bed. They will assess them on the phone right there. And if they have a bed and they fit the status, then they will say, okay, we can have you come in at this time. After that, we have drivers, volunteer drivers that I've called, and I will call one of them and ask them if they can drive to Springfield tomorrow. If they do, they meet us upstairs in the foyer at the police station. It's one-on-one basis at that time. When they get in the car, if they want to open up and talk more, they can. But I will say, this is your driver, Ann. This is Joe. He's going to Gateway. And that's, it. Okay, so their bag or suitcase, whatever their belongings, will go in the back seat or the trunk. They sit in the front seat with the driver. They're allowed to have their cell phone. They, sometimes we'll have an extra person or a new driver that will ride in the back seat just to know what is going on, and learn. They get them to rehab. Rehab will take them in and talk to them for a few minutes and everything. After they've accepted them, they'll come out and release the driver. The driver then calls me and tells me, okay, they're safe. They're in rehab now. I'm on my way back.
Yeah.
So that, and then there's a lot of paperwork.
Oh, it sounds like it.
Yeah. There's a lot of follow-up paperwork, and that has to be kept in case we get a grant. That's how we work on grants or donations.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people that donate. Especially like if we've helped a loved one get into rehab and it's clean now and doing good, they might send a small check or something. But all that has to be documented.
Okay.
So there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of follow-up paperwork I have.
Yeah. So no, it sounds like a long process. And like you were talking earlier when we were talking about the graduation, you see that progress. Well, it sounds like you do, since you're involved really at every stage of progress. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And after they get out of rehab, sometimes they call and they say, could you bring me home? I don't have a ride. But most of the time, their family or friends will go get them. Now, sometimes the client doesn't want to come back because they know they need to get in a different atmosphere.
Yeah.
So they might get into a sober living house, it's called, and that maybe have 6, 8, 10 people in it, men or women. They still go to counseling, have their meetings, but they have to get a job, and the place will help them get a job while they're there. When they do, if they do finally come back, then they might call me and say, I don't have any place to live. They've now given up my apartment.
Yeah.
So can you help me find a place to live? Well, so we've got a few landlords that we call for that, and they will help them. Some might call and say, I need a couch. I got a place to live. I need a couch, or I need chairs, or whatever like that. Well, we have a lot of donations for that also. Yeah. And right now I have quite a bit of furniture in storage. And when people call and need it, like that, we give it to them. I get that when they get back home, I get them set up with meetings.
Yeah.
They're meeting 7 days a week in Taylorville at the Presbyterian Church.
Yeah.
Every day except for Tuesday. Tuesday is Celebrate Recovery at Davis Memorial Church.
Yeah.
And like we talked about that, Celebrate Recovery, that's a big deal to go to and everything. So everyone likes to go there. They see people they know, and it's a good time. But we help them throughout. And then after they've got into their home and everything, new house, I don't have a job. Do you know anybody that's hiring? Well, sometimes it's hard for them to go in and get a job.
Yeah.
When they have to fill out the paperwork, if they're a felon or they've been in prison or whatever. So we have different places in town that will hire.
Yeah.
So we help them do that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like it started out when we opened in 2019. It's just like, okay, they'll come in here and talk.
Yeah.
And get them into rehab. Mm-hmm. Well, that just blew up, and now we pretty much help them with everything.
Yeah.
And we call them every once in a while, talk to them. They call me or Debbie that works with us, and just like friends, because they're so happy and thankful and everything. So
no, that is it's such high impact work. Denise Evans, coordinator for Safe Passage with the Taylorville Police Department. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll wrap up this great conversation here on the WTIM Morning Show on your information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
Commodity market update on the RFD radio network. I'm Rita Frazier. Still trading higher in the corn, soybeans, and wheat on a Wednesday morning. May corn up 3/4, $4.66. July up 2. December up 2.5 at $4.98 1/4. May beans up 6 1/4, $11.79 1/4. July up 6, and November soybeans up 4 3/4, $11.71 3/4. To the wheat, May wheat Chicago up 10 1/4, $6.59 1/4, and December hovering on that $7 mark. Right now we're at $6.99 1/2, up 10 1/2. Checking your livestock numbers, June live cattle up 102, 254.52. May feeder cattle down 33, 71.42, and your June lean hogs up 162, 103.60.
I'm Jeff Grimmett, Assistant Vice President at People's Bank and Trust in Taylorville. People's Bank and Trust is proud to sponsor Taylorville Junior High School Students of the Month on all of the WTIM platforms.
Hi, I'm Avery Pope, the 7th grade student of the month. My parents are Crystal Gibson and Bradley Pope. The school subjects I enjoy are ELA because I enjoy how kind and caring my teacher is. This year at TJHS, I'm involved in bowling. After high school, I would like to be a nurse or cosmetologist because I really want to work like my mom one day. A fun fact I would like you to know about me is that I own a pet named Batman.
Congratulations to these students on this honor from People's Bank and Trust. We put people first every day at People's Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
I'm Police Chief Andrew Pistorius with the Sullivan Police Department, here to talk about a topic no one wants to discuss, depression that many times leads to suicide. When a person is going through such feelings, many times family and friends don't know how to help, but there is help. If you feel depressed or lonely, there are many resources to help you. Call a trusted relative, friend, or minister, or call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline toll-free at 800-273-TALK. That's 800-273-TALK. All of us are here to help.
Hi, I'm Mark Sanders, and I'm your longtime host, interviewing Shelbyville and Shelby County community and business leaders every week. For some 10 years, WTIM, your information station, has originated its Friday morning show live from our downtown Shelbyville studios. Tune in on AM or FM or online every Friday from 8:40 to 10, brought to you by these great sponsors.
Family Drug, the Villas of Hollybrook, Shelbyville Manor, and CCSI Case Management Services sponsor the WTIM Shelbyville Morning Show.
Your information station, WTIM.
And we're back on the WTIM Morning Show on your information station. The show is sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Reed Kamai, and I continue my conversation with Denise Evans, a coordinator for Safe Passage with the Taylorville Police Department. So we spent much of the interview so far just talking about kind of what the process is like, and it's a really eye-opening story and process about how all of that goes. We've got just a couple minutes left. How can folks get in contact with you?
We're located in the Taylorville Police Department, which is 108 West Vine in Taylorville, or the number is 217-777-0080.
Okay, so some ways to get in contact with you folks. Maybe listeners have heard this story, or they've heard of you folks before and would like to get involved. I know you said you run at least in part on donations. How can folks donate?
You can send a check to the address, Taylorville Police Department, and care of Safe Passage.
Okay, so yeah, so you can do that to donate. Do you have a way to donate online, or not really?
No.
Okay, all right. So you've got the check in the mail way to donate as well. You mentioned you have volunteer drivers. How can someone get involved with that?
Yes, the drivers transport the client to the facilities.
Yeah.
They can call that same number, 217-777-0080. They can, all they have to do is have a good driving record and insurance.
Yep.
And we have 6 or 7 volunteers. Most are retired, so a lot of times they go south for the winter, and sometimes we run short there.
Okay.
So anyone who would like to drive, just call that number, get a hold of us.
Okay, so some ways for folks to get involved in Safe Passage. About a minute to go, you folks are ramping up your outreach. I know probably this appearance right now helps out. What else are you folks doing?
Outreach, we will be out and about all the businesses around, and we will be handing out brochures, talking to maybe people in the street, maybe set up at open doors at a store, front doors, and handing out brochures. It tells all about Safe Passage, has phone numbers on it and everything. We will be doing that throughout Christian County. Because we take people from everywhere, not just Taylorville. I've even had clients come from out of state.
Okay. Yeah, and you've got that information right there for folks to stumble upon and hopefully get the help they need. Denise Evans, coordinator for Safe Passage. Denise, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
And thank you for listening to the WTIM Morning Show. You have yourself a good day.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville. 96.1 FM Taylorville. 107.5 FM Shelbyville.